In this video, guys, look at stop losses. What are they, how to use them, and some different types. Stay tuned. Hey traders, a very warm welcome to you. So if you're new to trading, this video is perfect for you, because if you're trading any leveraged instrument like spread betting, like CFDs, stop loss for new traders, stop losses for newer traders are essential. Now, when you become more of an advanced trader and a bit more of a feel for risk management, then potentially you can be a little bit more flexible with your stops depending on the strategy you're trading. And I've done a few videos where I've talked about that on the channel, so go and check it out. Make sure you're subscribed as well for more videos. If you're into spread betting, CFD trading, any kind of speculation on the financial markets, I think you'll enjoy the channel a lot. All right, so let's have a look. So stop losses are crucial, guys. You know, especially if you're starting out, it stops you losing money, because a spread bet specifically, or CFD trade, the majority of spread bets anyway, are never ending. In other words, they never take you out of the trade unless you have a future spread bet, and you have a future spread bet, which means that it comes out at a specific time. Most people will trade the daily rolling cash. So if you're wrong and you're wrong and you're wrong and you're drastically wrong, you're going to keep on being wrong and losing money. Just like if you've got a CFD trade on and you're wrong, you need something that says enough's enough, I need to take my loss, move on, live to fight another day, and look for the next good trade. So they're essential. So a basic fundamental stop loss looks like this. So let's say we're trading, let's imagine this is the FTSE 100 here, and let's imagine that we have gone long, or we've bought here. So whether we're trading CFD or spread bet, we are in the position here at 7,500. So our order goes through, we bought 7,500, regardless of what the position size in, it's irrelevant for this example. But let's say we don't want to have that trade anymore if the market goes down to 7,300, this level here. So we've got our stop level, so we'd put a sell stop in at 7,300, giving us a total of 200 points risk. Now, of course, that could be as wide or as small as we want. It could be 10 points risk, could be 1,000 points risk. It all depends on the time frame we're trading. If you're a swing trader, are you a day trader, and what sort of thesis you've got on the market. So what happens now is that if the price goes up and up and up and up, and we're bought at 7,500, the stop will never be triggered. Nothing will happen. We'll just make money as the market goes higher. Now, if the market goes lower, let's say it goes down 7,400, it's still not going to be triggered. We're in loss still, but the trade won't be closed unless we manually close it. If the market goes and touches 7,300 or trades through 7,300, then the stop loss will automatically be executed. We'd have to be at the screen, we'd have to be at the computer. It'll get done automatically, and we'll close our trade for us, giving us a 200 point loss on that trade. So if we're £1 a point, we're spread betting, we'd lose £200 on that trade. So it ensures that we don't sit there, forget about this trade, go off on holiday, come back and the thing's down at 6,500. We could have lost 1,000. So it protects our trade from losing more than we want. So it protects us against a large loss, very useful in that terms. It can lock in profits as well. So in other words, you can move your stop. Let's say the market now goes up to 7,600. You've done well, you've got a great trade on, you're 100 points in profit. Maybe you're going to move that stop loss up by 100 points to 7,400 and lock a little bit more of the profit in. Or maybe you even move it tighter to 7,550 and lock in a 50 point profit on that trade. That's up to you. That's your trading strategy and how you approach the market. So you can lock in profits with that. One thing to mention before we look at stop loss types, guys, is slippage can occur. So in other words, if you have something that's surprise news that comes out and affects the market, and the market just suddenly falls through the floor, let's say it's economic data that's scheduled, or let's say the Fed has done something in the US and it's affected the FTSE, whatever it may be, loads of economic data out there that can have an impact on the underlying market and a specific underlying share as well. If you're trading a share, then the market can run through your position and you could get some slippage. Now, if it's during the day, you're trading a big thing like the FTSE 100, super popular, super liquid instrument, the slippage isn't going to be that much. However, if you're trading a share and there's a gap overnight between the open and the close price, or since the close price and the open price, then you might get slippage. And that means that if the market trades lower than your stop, you're going to get filled at the first possible level. Let's not get into that. There's a video exclusively on slippage if you want to find out more about that. let's keep it broad for this video. Really, if we're trading a bigger instrument, then we're going to get stopped out at the 7,300 level, plus or minus a few points if we get some slippage. Okay, so stop loss types. We can do a monetary amount. So in other words, we can say to ourselves, right, I want to risk £100 on this trade. I'm in at £1 a point. I need on my stop. I mean, let's use this as an example. I'm long at 7,500. The stop will be at 7,400. So it'd be a sell stop at 7,400. The monetary amount, I'm risking £100 on that trade. By the way, before we get to number 2, guys, we can flip this on its head and we can be short, and the stop would be a buy stop because that will cover our short. And if you're interested in finding more about shorting, loads of shorting videos again on this channel. So percentage stop loss, that could be very simple. You could say, listen, I only want to risk 1% of the FTSE. So if you're in at 7,100, 1% is going to be 75 points. You have your sell stop 75 points below the market in that example. A chart or technical stop, probably the most common and the most effective potentially, is when you're putting it based on a chart level. So it could be, you know, under a little low here, or maybe it could be where there's some support level here. If you don't find out support and resistance, again, you know, we've got lots of information for you if you want to dig further onto that. But some charting level, you looked on the chart, you've had a level that basically means if the price gets there, the trade is no longer valid in your eyes and you want out of the trade. So that's mostly the most popular one that most traders would use. Swing highs and lows, so similarity with that one, but that could be, oh, it's the low of the week, the low of the month, the low of the year, the high of the year, etc. So you can just put your stop loss under that key level, use that as a benchmark. Simple yet effective way of placing a stop loss. Number 5 is trading stops. So just like in that example, we could have a stop. Some brokers allow you to automatically trail it. So a 100-point trailing stop would be set at 7,400. And if the price goes up to 7,510, the stop goes up by 10 points. Goes up. But if the market comes down, the stop doesn't move. So it's like a ratchet system like that. Okay, so it's a trading stop. Or you can do it manually. Like in that example, market goes up, 100 points in your favor, you might decide to move the stop up, cancel that stop and place another stop 100 points higher. And the final one, guys, is a time-based stop. So this could be, hey, I've been in this trade for, this would be a mental kind of thing. Generally, not many brokers will allow you to do this, but you can have it if you're swing trading and say, well, if I've been in this trade for a week and it's not done anything, I'm going to stop myself out of the position. So not theoretically a stop that goes and sits with the broker per se, but something you can do for risk management to take you out of the trade if it hasn't performed as you'd expected over a time period. If you're a day trader, it might be end of the day. If you're a swing trader, it might be end of the week, end of the month, or something like that. Again, that's up to you and what your trading plan and what you're trying to achieve with your trading, spread betting, CFD trading, whatever instrument you're trading. And that reminds me, whatever instrument you are trading, do keep your risk managed for using stops. It's a great way of doing it. And take care. And don't forget to subscribe. If you like this video and you want to see more, then hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification as well if you want to be notified every time we upload a video on the channel. Take care. Bye-bye.